Mushrooms are my favorite thing on the entirety of planet Earth, just above family, money, and my iPad. So naturally, I look back fondly to the wacky antics of my first time. But everyone's first mushroom trip has the arbitrary barrier of, how do I even get these? You have to figure out. Up until this point, I had only ever really acquired the za, so I didn't really know where to look. So I did what I do best, and I made someone else figure out my problem for me. Hey Kevin, you buck-toothed freak, I need you to get me some mushroom. I don't know if I can. 2 days after that phone call, I pull up to Kevin's house with the boss, Cole. It was gonna be both of our first times, but Cole said to me, I really want to die from this, and decided 4 grams would be a good amount for his first time, while I was only doing a measly 2. Kevin comes out of his actual woodland shack and meanders over to the whip to show us he's got that stuff. I kiss him on the lips as thanks and pull out my scale to measure the grammage. Although this wasn't my brightest moment because I didn't have the right kind of scale to do this. I had brought one of those cooking scales and the thing was not nearly accurate enough to measure them johns. Not to mention it was in broad daylight on the hood of my car, so people kept driving past us and it was real sus. So we just decided when the time came we would eyeball it. So the time did come and we did eyeball it with Adam because he wanted to join us as well. Adam and I were able to get ours down with no problem, but Cole just couldn't stomach it. So this guy puts his shrooms into a blender with just water and makes this nasty shroom water drink. But this wasn't good enough, so he put sugar into the water, which made it worse than before. Since we didn't measure the shroom dispersion correctly, there's no way to know if he really ended up drinking 4 grams or not, but I'm willing to bet that he had more than 4 because this drink sends him to another planet. Cole was where most of the content of this night came from. So let's skip 30 minutes to when they started to hit. As the high came over me, I felt like every aspect of myself was at 11. I could think sharper. I could see clearer. I felt like I could do anything. I was quite literally cracked. An immortal being living amongst the mortals. Adam was just vibing out on the couch listening to music, but Cole was on God mode with me. Considering that he ate double the mushrooms I did, I can't even imagine what he was on. Cole looks over to me and says, I need to kill God. I didn't completely know what that meant, but I was like, yeah bro, go for it, kill him. So Cole grabs this sword he had, and I can't say what it looked like from his perspective, but I'm sure he was winning. At one point, I took my glasses off, and my vision was so bad that the blurry world without my glasses felt like a whole new place. I thought of it as a personal little pocket dimension I could enter whenever I wanted. But then Cole just yells, yo bro, you need to see this, from the bathroom. So I walk over and he's doing what most people tripping would consider unspeakable. He's looking at himself in the mirror. What's up? Dude, look in the mirror. I swear, the wall tiles don't normally look like this, right? So I look in the mirror and I don't see shit. Nah, you're tripping. Look closer. There's more details than usual. Oh yeah, I guess I see that. It looks like writing, bro. I think it's an ancient language. This man was positively tripping balls. He starts staring at the wall trying to decipher the ancient language, but I didn't eat enough shrooms to see that, so I just walk away. Once Cole comes out, he says to me, bro, I just made time cease to exist. There's no more future or past. Time is no longer linear, bro. And next, I'm gonna create the universe from scratch. So he lays down, shuts his eyes, and starts creating the universe in his mind. I sit down with Adam like, so what have you been up to, bro? Oh, I'm just listening to music. Then Cole walks over again and has more to say. His ass has more to say. Guys, I don't know if the universe is worth creating. Life is such a beautiful thing, but at the same time, I would be causing every human atrocity. I think you need to go on a walk, dude. So the 3 of us go on a walk around the block. And let me tell you, this walk felt like the most cinematic moment of my life. As the shroom trip came to an end, I thought to myself, mushrooms are very cool. Alright, that's the story. Subscribe. Bye. Here's a big one. You people have wanted this. My first time getting high, as it goes for most people, was a crazy experience. Now, I was at my friend Roderick's house. He's a classic guy. He's in just about every story that I tell at this point. Roderick's house was not like any other house. He lives in luxury, a luxury that a poor, under the poverty line boy like me will flip his shit when he sees. I mean, He's got a piano as you walk into his house. He's got a projector as a TV in his living room. This is the shit you see LA YouTubers live in. He lives in the Incredibles mansion. So Roderick was the weed expert that was going to show me his ways, and I was his apprentice. And this wasn't just my first time smoking weed. I should mention it was also my friend Roman's. The three of us were all sleeping over together this night inside Roderick's nice-ass house. Roderick was the real homie this night because he said, we can't just smoke a wax pen on both of your guys' first time. We gotta get our hands on the real stuff. What we had to do first was acquire the weed because we didn't have anything at this point. So we were going through the process of asking everyone that we knew on Snapchat if they knew somebody that sells weed until we finally landed on one guy. We pull up to his place and it's not scary at all, but this is my first drug deal. I'm anxious in my mind. What if this dude's got a gun? What if he kills us in cold blood? But then this dude comes out of his house with these big ass goggle glasses. He looked like a real dork. This motherfucker was a certified bozo. We could have given this dude a wedgie for the weed. Once we drove off with the weed, we all just burst out laughing because we were expecting the exact opposite of this guy. We had acquired our first weed. Roman and I were just marveling at its beauty. We felt the weed, we smelt the weed, but most importantly, we wanted to smoke the weed. Before we stopped back at Roderick's, we drove to the gas station and he was like, I'll be back in a minute. This won't take long. He comes back with a bottle of Sprite, a pack of gum, a pencil, and a straw. Yo, what is this all for, bro? You'll see, bro. You will see. So we drive back to Roderick's place, run to his bedroom, and assemble all of our stuff. Roman and I just sit back while Roderick works his magic. He drinks the whole Sprite bottle, takes a gum wrapper, and wraps it over the top. He pokes some holes in the wrapper, and then he stabs the side of the bottle and sticks a straw in. And just like that, we had our own homemade bong made. It was a pretty jank way to smoke weed, and it didn't work all that effectively, but we had to make do with what we had. We were on limited resources. So we smoked out the Sprite bottle. And I don't know what was in this weed, but it affected Roman and I in a way weed has never before since then. In my going for a walk on mushrooms video, I mentioned how the mushrooms made my vision like in Minecraft, how your FOV can increase. In my experience, that's pretty usual for mushrooms, but this was the one and only time that I've had this effect solely from weed. And it wasn't just me. Roman had the same experience with his vision. It was so weird. I don't know what was in this goddamn weed, but it had us looking at things crazy. I was so goddamn giggly too that I just couldn't get enough of these guys. I laughed at everything. It didn't stop. After you smoke a good amount of times, I feel like the giggles eventually just go away. But the first time I had the laughs. Then the fabled munchies kicked in and we had no remorse for the kitchen. We started tearing through everything like savages. There was a fruit bowl in the middle of the kitchen, so I went, don't mind if I do, and wiggled my little fingers. I picked out an apple and there was a fly on the apple, and I don't know why, but this fly scared me. I mean, I don't fuck with bugs. So I threw the apple, I projectile tossed it across the living room, and it hit right into a framed painting and shattered the glass. I don't feel good about this even today, but luckily the painting itself wasn't damaged and his parents were not home at the time. It was fucking loud. They would have known what happened. So we started to panic, but thankfully Roderick is the real homie because he vacuumed up the glass for us. Lord knows, neither of our asses could have functioned a vacuum in our current state. And by this time, I started fucking up the Pop-Tarts and I just forgot about what happened. I wasn't joking when I said we were savages. We were on a real ruffian shit. Roman went back to the room first with his snacks, and as I followed behind him, I entered the room to see that he was unclothed. He was only wearing his undies. He was sitting on Roderick's bed, eating a family bag of chips and watching YouTube videos. I feel like it's almost a universal experience where people smoke weed for the first time and search videos to watch while high on YouTube. And the same videos always just come up too. I know that you have seen this cartoon before. This video had us mesmerized. It was beautiful. We went on a YouTube binge for like over an hour or so, and I couldn't tell you how it happened, but we eventually ended up on Diary of a Wimpy Kid YouTube. We were just enjoying some classics like Greg Heffley is a Sociopath. After we got bored of YouTube, we put on some lo-fi beats, and Roderick had this light projector that put stars all over the walls, and we fell into a slumber. I was paranoid the following week or so because I thought his parents would have noticed the painting frame that I broke, but they never really did. Because of me, there's a painting with no glass in his house, and to this day, nobody has really noticed it at all. So that was the story of the first time I smoked weed. Okay, bye-bye. Greening out is allegedly worse than cutting off limbs. However, despite being the massive za head that I am, I've never actually experienced that climax. I've had friends go through it before my very eyes and seen the absolute destruction that befalls their now forever ruined bodies. But me, I've never had it happen to me until today, when my constant push for entertaining content ended up pushing me over the edge and greening out for the first time. The night started off normal enough. I was watching Diva twerk compilations, Ice Spice full view oiled up bust down 4K, while off a few gummies as I do every night, when I had a thought come to me. I haven't left my bed in like a week. I need to get into some video material mischief right now or else I'm gonna felled off. So I took another 2 gummies and shot a text over to none other than the absolute legend Roderick himself. Bro, I need you to come over to my house this instant, please, please, please. All right, bro, I got you. I'll be there in a minute. Roderick pulled up instantly with his massive stature and Greek godlike appearance and was clutching none other than his epic weed in one hand and a bag of some yummies in the other. Shutting the door behind ourselves, I gave Roderick massive greetings into my humble abode, and seeing what he had brought, I knew exactly what was about to go down. So we sat on the couch and began to do our thing. We both ended up taking about 1 million hits each before finally giving it a bit of a break. And let me tell you, at this point, I was already feeling higher than something that's really tall. Now scrolling YouTube, I saw a gym motivational video pop up in my recommended. I don't usually watch these types of things, but having been reading Vagabond and practicing the way of the samurai, I was feeling strong and in need of constant self-improvement. And being as high as I was, this seemed like exactly the thing that would push me beyond my human limits. We watched the whole thing in silence, but the raw emotion was louder than anything I've ever felt. The only noise we made was at the end, where we both let out mighty roars, ready to take on any foe. Bro, I need conflict! Hey, let's bust out the push-ups, why don't we, my brother? Come on, let's just get on the floor. As soon as we stood up, I found it really hard not to stumble around and realized there was no actual way for me to do anything. Neither of us were really able to move, and even if we did, we'd probably hurt ourselves. Okay, bro, I can't actually do this. Let's just watch people work out on the TV instead. Alright, dude, but the punishment for not working out right now is that we have to smoke more weed, which I gladly accepted. And in this very moment, I knew exactly what I had to do. Bro. Oh, yeah? I have to smoke endless weed and green out for views. It's what the people want. I have to persevere for those massive YouTube numbers. Us both finding this idea very funny, Roderick and I did a few more rotations of that smoky to really send ourselves flying. Finishing up this round, we decided it would probably be best if we got one other person in here to help me keep on my mission. So we decided to hit up our boy Cameron to come over and make sure we were able to keep focused. He eventually came over, and when we opened the door for him, we were nothing more than shells of our former selves. We had smoked ourselves into mere husks, of who we used to be. But I was still talking coherent enough that Cameron knew his job wasn't complete. Hey, how's it going, lads? Not good. I don't think I can handle this anymore. I might have gone over my head for this one, dude. That's all right, bro. That's why I'm here. Think of the views, dude. Let the views motivate you. Just seeing Cameron's shining smile motivated me to go a little further. I took a few more hits, but not nearly enough to green out. But I was high enough to be brain dead. After a few minutes had passed, I heard another knock at my door. My first thought I had to myself was, oh, Cameron must have gotten here, forgetting he had arrived minutes ago. When I opened the door, it was actually some missionaries that had came from the church, inviting me to a local event they were hosting. I start to panic here. I couldn't even remember that Cameron had entered my house, so I knew I couldn't communicate with the missionaries. Oh, you guys, hey, come here, come over here. My words were bullshit, but sounded convincing enough to be real. I got Cameron to the door and ran away to hide. Oh yeah, Cameron already got here. He took care of those guys for me real good. The missionary encounter had shaken me up a bit and faltered my motivation visibly. I'm struggling here, my boy. You're gonna need to do something real moving to get me any further, Cameron. Then he did something I never expected him to do in my life. In an act of true selflessness and purity, he ate his first ever edible for my sake. Now that I'm gonna be high for the first time, boys, you gotta do this. Having witnessed such a manly and awesome moment, I now knew what had to be done. I wasn't gonna let anything stop me. Not even the dizziness that was absolutely beginning to obliterate me, just like I do to Ice Spice, could stop me. I took another gummy and took one last giant rip of the bong. And just like that, it was all over. My moment had finally come. After a few minutes, I began feeling the full effects. I was getting incredibly dizzy and nauseous. Standing became a near impossible task, and just the sound of Roderick and Cameron talking felt overstimulating and overly loud to the point I couldn't handle it. Honestly, this part gets kind of a little fuzzy in my mind, but I eventually managed to get carried upstairs to my bed, now unable to even get words out of my mouth. And in this instant, I immediately knew that I was just like Drake because I was out like a light. Anyways, I feel like everyone's first time eating edibles involves disappointment, quickly followed by a wave of high hitting like the GTA 5 train. It's just unstoppable, leaving yourself floating at the mercy of the sea of THC, just hoping you didn't get too high. It's the classic these edibles ain't shit dilemma. And in my case, my first edibles really were shit because the mixture of THC in these brownies I got were just not evenly spread throughout. I got my first edibles from this one kid I went to school with. I didn't really know the guy, but I knew Roman and he knew the guy, so I trusted the guy. He had baked his own edible brownies he was selling at school, so I decided to jump on the opportunity and I bought 3 of them for Cole, Roman, and me. We got through our day of school with the weekend ahead of us, so we decided to all assemble at Roman's place that night and eat the brownies. And if anything bad were to happen, we had Saturday and Sunday to recover from this. So it's around 6 p.m. and the 3 of us are all bunkered down in Roman's bedroom. We had prepared for the munchies, so we had boxes of Oreos, bags of Doritos, and 3 Happy Meals for the 3 of us. We got our brownies and we prepared to enter the high. Wherever this brownie takes us, we don't know. We could very well come out of this new men. Let us surrender to the high in complete acceptance. There's no fighting what's to come. So after the epic speech, we eat our brownies and we start playing Minecraft. We make a new world with the hopes that we'll make some weird stuff we can look back on when we're sober, but I won't lie, we don't end up playing the game for very long. Just about every 4 or 5 minutes, we're all like, feel anything yet? No. Nah. Damn, I hope we didn't get scammed. After 30 minutes or so pass, Cole just falls over and starts laughing. These brownies hit him hard. Almost as hard as the carbon monoxide poisoning that will be taking out Chains for Real on the 16th of October, 2023 at 4:08 a.m. The 2 of us turn around and this dude is already shredding into the Happy Meal with no remorse. Damn, that shit must have really hit. Seeing Cole act a fool had some kind of chain reaction on me because I started to feel these brownies almost right away, and I started tearing into my Happy Meal with no remorse. We get our toys out, and at the time, McDonald's had Frozen 2 toys, so I got this man that looks like he's made out of literal shit, and Cole got the same guy. These toys were also projectiles, so we're just shooting each other with the shit man and losing it. This whole time, Roman is just sitting here sober as a doorknob. I mentioned how the THC wasn't spread evenly throughout the brownies. What ended up happening with that was Roman didn't get high at all, while Cole and I got a super concentrated part of the batch. So we're having a good time while Roman just has to assume the parental figure position for the night. It's unfortunate, but Roman never experiences fortune, so it is what it is. The two of us completely ignore Minecraft to destroy every crumb of food we have. I start getting thirsty, so I leave the room and I start walking to the kitchen. I see Roman's mom coming in my direction, so I quickly just make a turn to go into the bathroom to avoid her. When I walk into the bathroom, it feels so still. It's a little cold and there's not a sound. I stare at myself in the mirror for like 10 minutes without breaking eye contact, and I just think to myself, damn, I'm really just a guy on drugs right now. My thoughts get broken by a loud thump from outside the room, so I go out and I go back to the bedroom, and I just see all the Happy Meal boxes crushed flat on the ground. Cole is just walking around talking about Don Juan, some Spanish dude that seduces women, I guess. I don't really know. I'm like, yo, what was that noise? And I don't even know what Roman said back to me because I just enter a new dimension in this moment. I don't know what it is, but I'm just hit so hard. I tune out the entire external world and get taken somewhere entirely different. I lay on the bed and just focus all my attention on the sound of the Minecraft soundtrack that's still playing on the game we abandoned. Me and the bed just become one being, and I'm like this for the rest of the night. I don't even notice it, but Cole and Roman leave the room, and apparently they went off on a walk and got chased by a dog or something. I'm not all too sure because I was gone and out for the rest of the night, but that's just what they told me. The next morning, I woke up feeling super tired, but it was also kind of a nice tired. I just felt chill. Roman was fine, but Cole's pants had an entire bottom half of the leg ripped off. I was in such a chill mindset, I didn't even bother to ask, but it seemed like those two really went through some shit. Once the night was over and I had successfully done my first edible, I look back on it glad that Roman didn't get to experience it at all, because fuck him. Dabs are an extremely potent method of smoking that I don't even mess with or really understand. You need this little thingamabobber, this doohickey, a tiny ivory ball that spins around, and a whole blowtorch. I tried to watch this tutorial to understand how it worked, but I ended up more confused than I came in, so I'm not gonna try and understand how this high-level Winterhold Skyrim sorcery works. That's for the high elves to know. The only thing I know is you use a blowtorch on THC oil, and that's crazy to me. So don't look to me for information. I never made it out of pre-calculus. I just tell the funny stories. So a few years ago, I found this rando at school because my little buddy Roman has a way of locating strangers and instantly befriending them. We could call this dude, Lois, ruler of the High Elves. So Roman comes up to me and he's like, yo, I met this dude named Lois in my class. You want to come over to his house with me? And I had never gone over to someone's house before meeting them, so I thought, yeah, that'd be funny. I'm down. So after school, we meet up at Lois's house and enter this nice, massive home. After we came through the door and met him, he mentioned that tonight was going to be an epic, no parents are home, we can do anything we want type of deal. So we popped off and he led us into his bedroom. As soon as we entered his room, it reeks and there's garbage everywhere. Bro's room was completely different from the rest of the house. He had clothes all over the ground and probably like food crumbs in his bed sheets. But the most bizarre thing he had was an open bag of coffee beans lying on the ground under his desk. I asked him, bro, why do you have an entire whole thing of coffee beans in your bedroom? And he explained to me how when his parents make him go to bed at night, he likes to secretly stay up and game. But when he gets too tired, he swallows the beans whole with some water because he doesn't know how to use a coffee machine. And that was the first red flag that we were in the presence of an actual sociopath. And then he wasted no time to instantly pull out the entire dab rig. So you guys ever smoked dabs? And to be honest, neither of us really even knew what dabs were at this point, but we didn't say all that. We were just like, nah. And then this kid proceeded to pull out one of those wax weed pens and a syringe. He opened up the pen, extracting out the wax with the syringe and squirting it into the dab machine. And I feel like there's no way this can be good for you. You're definitely not supposed to use pen wax for dabs. I'm sure there's some chemicals in there that would make you grow a third arm and immediately see demons all around you. But this kid just goes straight for it. He was clearly a pro at this. And then he hands it over to the two of us like it's just implied that this is normal and we'd smoke this dude's mulch weed. Either way, we did do it because we succumbed to the peer pressure that accompanied that silence. But the thing about dabs is that they hit extremely hard. So as we smoked this, me and Roman ended up getting way higher than we anticipated, way faster than we had ever been at this point. Without even a word spoken, as if this was just an average day for Lois, he started queuing up League of Legends on his laptop. That was the second red flag that we got from this kid. League of Legends has like 40-minute long games, and I wasn't about to watch this kid that I don't even know play a game I hardly know for 40 minutes while high off my first dab hit. But then he has the audacity to ask the two of us to get him a glass of water since he was getting into a game. And to this day, I literally cannot wrap my head around the situation that we had gotten ourselves into. We go to this random kid's house we don't even know, smoke his suspicious weed, and then he ignores us. And the fact that he's so casual about the whole situation makes me think that he's done this to other victims, and every time his parents go out, he just picks a new kid from school to do his biddings. So me and Roman go down to this dude's really nice kitchen and start eating all of his food while plotting and preying on his downfall. On one hand, we had a really cool house to stay in, and we could just eat all of their expensive snacks with no real repercussions. On the other, we'd have to spend the night with this strange elf person that kind of seems like he's using us. In the end, we decided to troop it out for the night because, to be honest, if we were to leave, we probably couldn't find our way home in the current state we were in. We brought up this dude's little Wawa drinky in the sippy cup and tried to make some kind of conversation with him just to see if he was going to do anything else but play League. But the way he was glued to this game, we kind of realized that this was all he was going to do. So we just walked out of the room and started exploring and pillaging all around this dude's massive house. I mean, it's not very often that you get to go through a stranger's house with no supervision and off a dab hit. And let me tell you, this exploration felt otherworldly because of it. The house could have felt way bigger than it was because we were high, but going through the hallways, the rooms just felt endless. The amount of bedrooms were ungodly in this house, and it took all of me and Roman's collective willpower to not steal their belongings. It was like getting into the loot vault in Fortnite and resisting the urge to take a golden scar. We eventually found what seemed like a family computer room, so we decided to set up camp there. We migrated back to the kitchen to get our yummy snacks and came back with a massive load of epic foods. We kind of just played random games on this dude's computer for a few hours, and the whole time this kid did not come looking for us. We set an hourly alarm to routinely check on the kid just to see what was going on with him, but he was literally just playing League all night. Multiple hours passed of this, and it got to the point where we entered ungodly hours of the night and we just wanted to go to bed. But this dude was completely unwavering in the face of the tiredness. He was gaming all night. This went on for so long, we just started to theorize this kid forgot we were in his house. But we didn't want to go to bed because it felt weird to just sleep in a stranger's bed. So we conducted a plan to sneak out of the dude's house undetected. We called our friend Adam to pick us up a few blocks down from the house, and on our way out, we stole a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos and tactically shut the front door behind us very sneakily and quietly. We got out of the house, and the next day at school, the kid didn't even mention anything or talk to us, and it was almost like he didn't even know the whole thing happened. Ever since then, I haven't smoked dabs because it was a weird experience, but anyways, subscribe. Doing acid is a wild experience that I tried to peer pressure all of my friends into doing with me. My first time was just 1 week ago when I made an epic phone call. Yo, Roman, I've got a proposal. Yeah? What's up, massive legend? We gotta take acid so I can make a video about it. Instantly, I knew Roman would be on board because he lacks impulse control. Now that I had someone on board, I could make this a thing and everyone I know would drop LSD with me. Or so I thought. Nobody else actually wanted to do acid, but I did get Cole to trips it for us in case anything went wrong. When the day comes, we all meet and we make the moves required to acquire the stuff. I call the plug like, let me get some of that good lysergic acid dithylamide, boy. We drive over, both get a tab each and drive back to my place. We thought 1 tab wouldn't hurt. This is like probably the adequate amount to do. But even for a big guy like me, this little paper messed me up. So we sit down, I put the little tab on my tongue to dissolve, but Roman just swallows the paper on some downright feral activity. We planned to play video games as we came into the trip, but didn't think anything past that. Hey bro, so what are we gonna play? I don't know. How about Raid Shadow Legends? This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, the greatest mobile game with over 600 champions with unique factions in their own history. And my favorite faction is the High Elves. Their backstory is pretty awesome. Their homeland, Aravia, has been around for thousands of years, surviving the fall of the Lizardman Empire, helped the humans form into civilization, and defeated the orcs when they formed a huge horde and attacked the continent. But then things got twisted when Cyroth, the Lord of the Darkness, convinced a bunch of elves to go evil and attack the kingdom. The Civil War nearly ended the elves, but Aravia survived, built, and now is stronger than ever. Absolutely awesome. My favorite elf is the Jingle Hunter. And this month is huge for Raid. They just released a brand new faction, the Sylvian Watchers, with some amazing new champions. Forest elves, Ents, druids, fays, they're all here. And I can't wait to summon them all to play with. And if that wasn't enough, Raid's got a full lineup of events, along with new seasons of the Forge Pass, where you can get your hands on some of the most powerful gear in the game ever. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get your exclusive rewards in Raid right now. This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on screen, you'll get unique bonuses worth $30 freaking dollars. We're talking a free epic champion, Vergis, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, and 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here, and it's that easy. Just click the link in the description and I'll see you in game. So we go to the PlayStation store and we come across this game called Funny Truck. This is the exact type of game you want to play when coming into an acid trip. This game went so hard. We're playing for like 30 minutes until we start to feel the effects, and Funny Truck really starts to live up to its name. The colors are a little more vibrant, our moods are boosted, and all these jiggly little people in the truck are the funniest goddamn thing we have ever seen. We keep playing the Funny Truck game for some time until Roman hits us with the, bro, we need to play some music. He stands up to play the music, but he just stands there without moving. So I stand up too, and I'm like, shit, everything is moving. I'm gonna go get the Alexa. I go get that thing, come back, and Roman still hasn't moved. I walk over to him and just hand him the Alexa orb, and he's like, what's this? The Alexa, bro, you played the music on it. So he repeatedly says, play Drake, play Drake, play Drake. He just couldn't figure out how it worked. So Cole steps in as CEO Trip Sitter, figures it out, and plays Roman his Drake. When this music plays, I feel like this man is speaking directly to my soul. I had never heard Drake this sensual and beautiful in my entire life. It was like the Drake was inside me, bro. My vision starts to gain after images, and the vibe created from the combination of everything going on was just on another level. I had truly felt I was peaking in this moment. It was getting dark and Roman was like, hey, I want to go outside. Bro, imagine how the stars would look. You boys think you can go out like this though? I don't know. Yes, you feel up to it, bro. I know you do. Okay, I guess I do. Are you sure? Don't listen to him. Just run outside. Don't let him control you, bro. You're a free man. I was acting as an enabler this day and being a little cheeky, but it worked because Roman just leaves the house, so we follow. There was tons of stuff to do around my place. We got the playground, we got the pool, we got the hot tub, but me and Roman weren't drawn to any of that stuff. We wanted the volleyball court. We play the music and the two of us lay in the sand and look at the stars. This goes on for a long time. I won't lie, looking at the stars on an acid trip brings a peace you don't get to feel too often. Once our time was up, we wanted that hot tub bad. Just the idea of being consumed by the warmth was enough to make us down bad. There was an issue though. We go around the gate to try and get in, but the gate was locked. I snap back into my bad influence and tell Roman, we need to jump the fence. There's no other option. He jumps the fence, then I jump the fence. And Cole is like, all right, I'll just stay out on the lookout for you guys. As we enter this hot tub, our lives change. We get onto some real homogeneous mixture type shit because the two of us just fuse into the water. It felt like there was no barrier separating our bodies from the liquid. The three of us see a car driving past and we're not going to take any chances. So the two of us jump out of the pool, over the fence, and back to my place where the Drake and Funny truck are still going. I'm like, guys, we're in a time loop where we have to listen to Drake forever and play Funny truck. Honestly, that doesn't sound that bad to me, man. So the night continues in what is essentially heaven, and the three of us game on acid. We ordered food at one point, and let me say, I got ripped off so badly. I ordered a medium Coke from McDonald's with a $10 edition of Freestyle orange flavor. And it was no different than a standard Coke. Does anybody know what Freestyle orange flavor is? Anyways, that's the story. Subscribe. Bye. I've smoked, I've drank, Lord forgive me, I've even done mushrooms. But in my eyes, all of those are fairly moderate or not bad substances. But this time, doing Molly was the first time I dipped my toes into the deep end and jumped into what I would consider the dark side. And I didn't even mean to do Molly this day. So it all starts at the end of my day. I had just gotten done with a long day of work and I was winding down and, well, I'll just let this video speak for itself.
Doesn't get any better than this, brother. Got my One Piece, my Vizzy hard seltzer, and my Lego Vespa. This is gonna be a good night.
When suddenly I got a FaceTime from Adam. I picked it up and I see him with the legend Roderick. They were like, bro, you gotta come over. Roderick's in town. And I hadn't seen him all summer, so I was hype. Yeah, bro, I'll come over, but you gotta pick me up because I'm off the hard seltzer, my boy. So my goons come and get me and take me back to Adam's mansion house. I had to put the brakes on the Lego Vespa, but I had higher priorities to attend to. So we get to Adam's house, run down to the basement garage, and get into the weed Porsche. We had the weed as we entered the car, but what I didn't know was that Adam had a little something else in his current possession. He turns around and reveals 3 different pills for each of us. Boys, I have Molly if we want to try it tonight. Now, I got a bit of whiplash from this. None of the 3 of us had done Molly at all before, so this was entirely out of left field. These 2 were both on board, but I was a little hesitant. Pills are nothing to trifle with. Adam had tested them, so we knew they were safe, but I was still a little sussed out, but also interested in trying them. In classic Ninye fashion, I said yes, but I opened up the pill and only took half. Because if this was gonna kill us, at least it would kill them first. Holy shit. So we popped these little guys and waited for our digestive systems to do its thing. We bumped the music and had a little chit chat. After about 15 minutes had passed, this Pop Smoke music was starting to sound a little better than usual. We were enchanted by the woo, and the 3 of us just get so much energy from this music. We step out of the Porsche and decide decide to experience this in the outdoors. So we go for a sunset walk around the neighborhood. As we walk around, Adam discovers that walking backwards is apparently really awesome. So the three of us are walking through the streets backwards, and I imagine it would be a strange cryptid thing to see as a bystander. I remember this moment was when it really started to hit these two. Adam was staring at the sky like, bro, I'm breaking through, holy shit. It was like that video of the guy doing DMT on CSGO. As for me, I'm not really feeling all that much yet since I only took half the dosage. We get back to the place and I take the other half. For the next half an hour, these guys feel like kings, but I never reached that peak since I spread it out. So we decided to smoke on top of the molly, and this is where I get sent to the moon and only really remember certain parts of the night. I had smoked that Yarnum pack that had me feeling like a Lovecraftian fifth dimensional being. Before I know it, there's an Uber at the house. I had no memory of ordering one, and I had no idea where it was gonna take me, but I get in anyways. The drive felt like 20 seconds long, but it had to have been at least a 10-minute ride. The whole time, my consciousness is just shifting in and out, and it felt like I was teleporting down each block. We get dropped off at this trail, and despite being a place that I go pretty often, I was like, bro, where are we? It was so dark, I couldn't even see the ground I was stepping on. I just moved my feet forward and trusted that I wouldn't trip or run into anything. I remember saying, guys, I need you to look after me right now, I'm too fucked. Which was absolutely true. If I was alone out here, I would have been no better than the wild animals. I would have slept in the fields or something. It was so dark, my depth perception was all fricked up, and the trees looked like two-dimensional images. I didn't even feel like I was walking. It was like I moved in place while the world spun under my feet. The trees were coming at me. I wasn't walking towards the trees, if you know what I mean. Before I know it, I'm in another Uber going home. We get back to Adam's place and it was somehow 4 a.m., which is just an absolutely devilish time for me. Mind you, I go to bed at like 9 p.m. on a normal day, so I passed out. I wake up at like 6 a.m. and I get a ride home on my feeble 2 hours of sleep. And you would think it's over here, but that's not the end of the story. For the rest of this day, I'm just tired and chilled out, building my Lego Vespa and watching shows on the telly. Until about 6 p.m. hits and I get another FaceTime from Adam. Come over, bro, we got more Molly. We're taking it again. I was like, what the fuck are these people doing? They're gonna stay up for 2 days non-stop on Molly. What the fuck? So I head over to Adam's place and he still has Roderick over there, but also my boy Kevin is partaking in this unholy day. This time I'm purely here to observe. I'm not doing it again. Until Adam offers me mushrooms, so you know, I won't lie, I ate a little bit, but just a little, not that much. The four of us Uber to Safeway for yummies. We walk in there looking sus as hell. I can't stop smiling. I try my hardest not to, but it's just something I couldn't do, man. I end up buying an entire box of donuts and we Uber over to the park for a walk. We get dropped off by my boy Cameron's house, who lives by the destination, and he comes out just because he hears us outside. Just like that, my little party has grown to 5 people, and I'm handing out these donuts like I'm Mr. Beast philanthropy. From a storytelling perspective, this walk doesn't really have much to talk about. It was really just a fun and peaceful time. A late night walk out with the gang through the forest was just really nice. The entire walk, somehow, Cameron didn't catch on that the 4 of us were on drugs, which I think is really funny. Lord knows I'm not doing anything harder than Molly, especially not lean. Looking back on it, I don't think I'd do Molly again. It's just a little too intense for me. Mushrooms are where I draw the line. I'm sure a few people are gonna want to do Molly from this video, and if you really want to, I can't stop you, but if you're going to, you gotta test it like Adam did. Pills are not something you want to take risks with. All right, my 85.4% men, 12.4% females, and especially you 2.2% unspecified. Thank you for 10,000 subscribers. That shit is epic as hell. Bye. Smoking alone for the first time can be a daunting task. A little inexperience can make you truly fear you'll smoke the grass wrong and end up in the shadow realm. And a part of that's true. If you never smoked alone before, you gotta understand it leaves you susceptible to your demons more than any other scenario. In Fortnite terms, running solos can really feel like you queued solo squads with the amount of demons you gotta fight off. Truthfully, I'm not one to talk though, because the first time I smoked alone, I did it out a goddamn banana. I was truly struggling back in the day. This particular instance of my first time, I think it was my 4th time ever smoking weed in my life. I came into it so inexperienced, I didn't even consider something could go wrong. It was the day after I had some boys over. We had gone questing for Zaza the night prior, and when the next day came, I had a little leftover nugget in my name. So once they all left my abode, I got a real sinister and evil idea inside of me. I got the idea to smoke it on my lonesome. The only issue, I was so new to weed, I didn't even have a method to smoke it. I went on Google and looked up homemade ways to smoke weed, and that's how the banana thing happened. Then came the second problem all low-level ZA smokers encounter, and that's masking the smell. And to be honest, I don't really have a very keen nose. My sense of smell is kind of fucking bad. But I just turned my fan on full and blew the smoke out the window. It was really the best I had. I won't lie though, the banana was goated. The banana was a little too goated because I ended up smoking way more of that razzmatazz hop skiddly do than I thought the banana was capable of. I expected some janky doohickey that hardly worked, but the banana method was truly valid. I only took like 2 to 3 hits since my tolerance was so abysmally small. But even from that, I started to see God. The chronic lung pain started to settle in immediately. It was so bad, I was praying to God, like, please Lord, free me of this pain. I didn't mean to smoke this weed. It was an accident. I really don't know how this happened. I was in recovery from this for like half an hour. I straight up thought it would never end and my high would be ruined because of it. So once I healed, I went on TikTok to rot myself from the inside out. But in my scrolling, there was one video that really stood out to me. It was specifically this one image from the video of a Lego Star Wars man. I stared at this picture for like 20 minutes, completely dumbfounded and in awe. I couldn't comprehend this Lego man, and it just didn't look right to me. So I did my research and watched the entirety of Lego Star Wars Episode 3 until precisely 12 minutes and 8 seconds into the video when I saw him. This is not the same as this, and it fucked me up. Immediately, I called Roderick like, bro, they fucking changed him, bro. What are you talking about? This Lego guy, he's not the same. They changed him. You have to come over right now, dude. I'll show you. So Roderick heads over to my house while I cannot comprehend why they changed a Lego man. He pulls up and I get the text that he's outside, and suddenly my brain does the Vine boom sound effect. Wait a minute. If I gotta go get Roderick, that means I gotta go through my house. That means I could be seen by my very own mother. I looked in the mirror to do a quick checkup, and bruh, my eyes looked like Squidward when he said, I'm all out of money. And I had no idea if I smelt or not. So I sprint downstairs as fast as I can, acquire young Roderick at the door, and take him into my room. Almost immediately, he's like, hey bro, it smells like weed in here. And my brain goes Vine boom sound effect with extra reverberation and bass boosted. Ain't no way, bro. Please say you're joking, bro. I can't have that be the truth. Nah, dude, it smells like weed. I start to panic. I don't know how potent the smell is, and I don't know if the smell had leaked out when I left my room. Now the objective has changed. It's no longer about Lego men anymore. It was about getting rid of the smell as to avoid getting a beating. I showed Roderick the banana, so he took it from me like, alright, this makes sense. The source of the smell has got to be coming from this banana. So what do we do about it? Give me a lighter. Oh, alright. And Roderick starts smoking out the banana, not before eating the whole thing. Eating that banana is just downright awful. Alright, dude. Now the source of the smell is inside of me. So as long as I don't open my mouth very much, it can't get out. Oh, wow, bro. That's genius. I didn't know you had this much intelligence. Hey, I'm not done cooking yet. We gotta get the smell out of the atmosphere now. The atmosphere? Yeah, dude, the atmosphere. Go get a vacuum. Go get a vacuum. So I run and get the vacuum, and then bro turns on the vacuum nozzle and starts attempting to suck the weed smell out of the bedroom's atmosphere. Wait. That vacuum is too loud. It's gonna bring suspicion to the noise. Oh, damn. Good thinking. And in an attempt to soundproof my bedroom, me and Roderick take my bed mattress off the frame and push it up against the door. Once we had thoroughly sucked all stench from the atmosphere, Roderick was like, all right, we gotta vacuum the floor now because the odor can trap itself in the carpet, so let's suck it out. So then we vacuumed my entire bedroom. Our soundproofing was apparently not good at all because all of a sudden my mom opens my door to see what all the noise was, and the mattress falls on Roderick. What's all this noise? Oh, you know, I'm just cleaning my room. Are you okay, dude? I think my rib punctured my lung. Okay, but we should be all good with the smell now. This was perfect because now I could show Roderick how they changed the way Lego General Grievous looks in Lego Star Wars. So I showed him the difference, and bro didn't really care. He never played Lego Star Wars, so he didn't really have any reaction. After that anticlimactic reveal, he just headed home, and I was back to being high alone. But since we had cleaned my room, I won't lie, I felt like a king. I felt like I was living in the highest echelon of society, so I took a whole shower for like 30 minutes in complete bliss. Once I was done, I got out and looked out my window to enjoy the view to see Roderick's car was still outside my house. It turns out he forgot he drove to my house and he was walking home this entire time. So I called Roman to get Roderick to take him to my house so he can take his car home. So we go through with the plan until Roderick gets back to my house and he's like, I'm high, I can't drive. So we call Adam to drive over and bring Kevin to drive Roderick's car home. In the meantime, me, Roderick, and Roman all go up to my bedroom, and as soon as Roman steps in, he's like, it smells like weed in here. Are you joking? After all the atmospheric sucking we did, it still smells like weed. So Roman did a little scouting around until he finds little bits of weed all over my bathroom counter. It turns out Roderick had just spilled them all out before eating the banana and forgot that they were out in the open. So Adam and Kevin come to my house, and as Kevin gets ready to drive Roderick back home, he realized he doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. So we need Adam now to drive Roderick's car since he doesn't know how to drive a stick shift, and they did a whole thing that I completely tuned out because I'm high and can't mentally comprehend their plan. As I'm watching them try and figure this all out, I'm just thinking, damn, if they never changed the way that Lego guy looked, none of this would be happening right now. So since I just kind of tuned this whole thing out, I decided to sneakily turn around and just walk back into my house while this chaos is transpiring outside. Even though at the heart of the cause, it was my fault, I was just like, I can't deal with this right now. And as I went into my room, I won't lie, I still smelt the weed at this point. But I couldn't really bother to care about that either. I was just so mentally fried and I was so high. I decided I would just watch funny videos on my iPhone SE until I passed out. Okay, that's the video. Subscribe. Cracking a few beers down the hatch is a quintessential requirement of entering manhood. And amongst my fellas, starting the 9th grade came with a strong and naive feeling of maturity. As a brand new, squeaky clean high schooler, we were all eager to get a little dirty and drink. But how does a 14-year-old get alcohol? With a plan. Me and Roman, a two-man operation, Saturday night over at his residence. His father would be out for work all afternoon and the beer fridge in the garage would be open. The only obstacle to get around was the mom. Alright bro, tonight is the night we drink for the first time. We cannot mess this up. I'll run the distractions while you get the beers. Grab 2 of them and then we get out of here. So I go to the kitchen and start sifting through the pots and pans, making a huge ruckus while Roman goes to the garage and loots up. Roman's mom comes downstairs because of all the noise to see me scouring the kitchen. Hey, are you alright? I'm freaking hungry. I need some snacks. Oh, don't worry. I can get you some. You just sit tight right there. The distraction was successful. The rest was up to Roman. I get my hummus and veggie snack plate and take it into the garage to see this pitiful waste of a human writhing on the floor in failure. I don't understand. There's no beers. If we have any, they're gonna be in the kitchen fridge. The kitchen fridge, which was now unattainable because of the parental threat. Let's just go for a walk and rethink the plan. Walking through the neighborhood, we tried to brainstorm different ways we could salvage our afternoon until an opportunity presented itself. A neighboring house had their garage open with a visible six-pack of beers laying in the back, and our underdeveloped prefrontal cortexes had a decision to make. I think I have a plan to save our afternoon. There's a few beers lying around just over there. I say we snatch some. My plan was to watch this house from a distance. We observed zero activity in the garage and in the house, and after some time passes, we strike. But Roman, without hesitation, just casually walks into the garage, takes some beer, and walks out like he was supposed to be there, and it works. But while this was a success, we had a new problem we didn't foresee. Dude, how are we supposed to open these bottles? We put the bottles in our pockets, sit on a bench, and start searching for answers. We watch a few videos, but there's one technique that stands out. The good old hit the cap on the table technique. Only problem was we were outside and we couldn't go back indoors with these things on us. So we walk into the woods for a flat enough rock to substitute. We eventually find a rock that would probably work, so we get to it. We keep repeatedly hitting these bottles against stone with no luck until I go a little too hard and smash the top of the bottle straight off and the drink starts to bubble up. I'm losing it all. What do we do? You got it open, bro. You just gotta drink it. So without hesitation, I start waterfalling this beer into my mouth, spilling it all over the place, making a mess. Roman saw this as the optimal way of doing things, I guess, because he intentionally breaks his bottle the same way I did, and we're both essentially shotgunning our first beers until it stops overflowing. Oh, that tasted really good. We get back out the woods and start walking towards the park and continue sipping our drinks. We hear a car coming at us from behind, and I start to panic. I can't be seen with a beer in my hand. I'll go to jail probably. So my first instinct is to throw my half-empty beer bottle back into the woods so I wouldn't get caught. After the car passed, Roman just kept his drink in his hand and nothing happened, so I felt a little dumb. But that didn't matter because more than dumb, I felt drunk. I don't know how, considering how little I drank, but I did. Maybe it was the adrenaline of theft and criminal behavior that boosted the feeling, but we were both feeling it. We got to the park and I was like, bro, we gotta go back to the woods. I left so much glass. We have to go clean that. Nah, man, you and everyone you know is gonna die one day, so it won't even matter. I just want to swing. Bro, I want to swing too. So we swang all night, got really dizzy, and Roman threw up. Okay, that's the story. Subscribe. Bye. The Pendulum to a stoner is the equivalent to a peasant's potato farm, meaning it's quite literally the bread and butter of our lives. Because of that, most people end up smoking them for their first time. But for me, this was my second time. I was posted up inside Big Bro Roderick's incredible house one winter evening. We both felt awesome with very impressive looks on our faces. There were supposedly big plans this evening because Roderick was like, I know these 4 people having the biggest, most awesome party tonight, which sounded grand, but there was one problem. Do I know these people though? No. Do they know me? Yes. And that was enough for me to be a little bit hesitant. I don't know, man. They could bully me. Don't sweat it, chap. One little dinghy off this port bow and you'll feel on top of the world. Holy crap, what's that? What is that? It's weed. Boom! This was a top 10 bomba-clot moments of my entire life. As I mentioned, I had only ever smoked one time before this, and the parasites in my brain were starting to speak to me. The same parasitic voices that tell me to peek corners in Valorant, gamble more money, and generally overextend on things I shouldn't were firing. Alright, Roderick, we've done this once before. I don't see the harm in going for a second. Oh god, it hurts so badly. You can't go crazy like that, bro. You gotta take your time. Oh, alright, I'll do it gently. Are you good, bro? Yeah. Alright, my boy, let's head out and drive to this shindig. As we start to drive, all this time in the car allows me to grasp the gravity of the situation I'm in. The world started to change around me in ways I didn't understand, and I felt an awe-inspiring feeling in my fingertips. I could not act right, and I started to go crazy until immediately locking in, because I was about to enter a home I didn't know with 4 people I also don't know. Hey, bro, if they see me like this, what What do you think they'll think of me? Oh, I think you're gonna be all good, bro. Oh my god! I had a bad case of the poo-poo eyes from those Benjamin tokes. You look awesome, dude. You'll be okay. Just put on these cool shades and they'll be very impressed with your style. Whoa, I feel like I'm number one, dude. So as we pull up to the house, there's only one single objective on my mind. I need to convince each of these people that I'm sober. Because if they see me high, they're gonna think I'm an addicted bum. We walk in through the front door and there's already a major fork in my plans. Roderick had actually brought me to the hose. I don't even know how to act around the hose when I'm sober. And those pen hits gave me slurp juice brain. Luckily, there was only this one girl named Sarah as we walked in, but I kid you not, she looked exactly like the Fortnite Sunstrider skin. God threw a level 10 baddie my way, and I started getting anxiety. But I couldn't forget the objective at hand. I can't let Sunstrider find out that I'm high. Yo, what's up, Sarah? This is Ninye.
Oh my god, Roderick has told me so much about you.
Alright, I can't mess up my first introduction. Yo, haha, that's awesome. Okay, that wasn't bad. Alright, I'm gonna go say hi to everyone else. Bye, guys. God damn it, now I'm all alone with her.
So why are you wearing those shades in the middle of the night?
Off rip, she's going for my weak spot. I gotta change the subject. Are you very impressed with my style? Fuck.
Yeah, you look really cool.
This is too stressful. I need to go somewhere to blow off a little steam. Alright, where's the bathroom? So we go upstairs and she shows me to the little man's room and I start doing push-ups on the ground like, ugh, fuck yeah, ugh. I'm trying to get a little pump in an attempt to get my head back in the game. But while grunting and moaning on the floor, I can see Sunstrider's feet from under the little crack of the door on the floor. So hopefully, she didn't get the wrong idea from my sounds. But I waste no time to text Roderick, I'm afraid of the hose, bro. In which he replies, don't worry, I'll clutch up for you. So as I leave the bathroom, Roderick comes upstairs with a deck of Uno cards and a bottle of vodka and starts telling us rules like, you two gotta drink every time you draw a card. Sarah, you go first. Bro is taking some big dog initiative in this situation. And then Roderick essentially just falls back down the stairs. Now I'm pretty much locked into playing Uno with this one girl at this point. But I start dicing her up with these draw fours like I'm a professional at this. And in no time, Sunstrider starts getting all bomba clot from the drink. She starts getting into all this girl talk like,
I fucking hate my friend Melissa. She fucked my ex-boyfriend last week.
And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. While I keep pulling out these draw fours like nobody's business. Somehow before I knew it, Sunstrider had inched her way to sitting right next to me. She starts taking whole swigs from the bottle and looks at me like,
you haven't drank anything yet. You can't be the only sober one.
Let's fucking go! This whole time I had successfully masked the fact that I was high, and her saying that just confirmed it. So I take a celebratory swig, but then she starts doing some weird shiz, like putting her hand on my thigh like,
fuck Melissa anyways.
But it turns out she drank more than she could handle because she couldn't control the volume of her voice, and she said that really loudly. Before we know it, this girl runs upstairs like,
what the fuck did you just say?
Turns out Melissa was at the party and heard everything. The two other girls come running up from behind Melissa, and a whole fight starts breaking out before I could process what was about to happen to me. Even this girl's little brother walks out of some bedroom. I didn't even know he was in the house, but he starts to get involved in this. I'm just sitting on the floor watching it all unfold until Roderick slowly walks up the stairs behind them and beckons me to come over to him. He's like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but we should probably leave. I'm down, bro. This place is getting a little too heated for me. So we sneak out the front door and drive away. I start telling Roderick about what happened with me completely washing this girl in Uno with no remorse for her soul. And he drops the biggest plot twist of the night. It turns out he had rigged the cards and made every other card draw in my favor so that the girl would drink more and make the situation less awkward with me. So if there's any takeaway from this story, take your time with the Benjamin because it hits very hard. Before you know it, you'll get anxiety from the hose.